I definitely noticed, like, every time it was a wide shot in Space Egypt, it kind of looked garbage.
Special effects. Can I see you after class?
Yeah, like, hey, you were given the deadline way in advance. You knew when this stuff was due. Could we, like...
You have so much potential.
Right.
Why aren't you living up to that potential?
That's so funny. I feel disappointed.
Very disappointed in you.
Gen Wars. Welcome to Gen Wars, the generational podcast pitting the Gen Xers against the Millennials. I'm your host, Nick, and with us, as usual, is our good friends, Cam, Katherine, and Steven. How's everybody doing today?
We could be friends.
Pretty good.
Friendship.
Friendship. Again?
Cam and I are going to be representing Gen X today, as we always do, and Katherine and Steven are representing the Millennials. So today we are reviewing the 1994 sci-fi classic Stargate, written and directed by Roland Emmerich, and also written by Dean Devlin, starring Kurt Russell and James Spader, along with a whole host of other actors that you've seen in a million other movies. A lot of that guy kind of people.
Seriously though.
But two
Kurt
notable
Russell
ones
was amazing to see.
So the two other notable ones, though, that are in there, this was in their beginnings of their career, were Jaimin Hunsu and French Stewart, which in 1994, they were, up and comers.
Wasn't he the guy in Gladiator too?
He was. That was.
He's always that one guy in that one movie, and I'm like, I can never remember his name. Literally.
Yeah, he did Amistad with the short time after this, and then that springboarded him into getting Gladiator and so on and so forth.
Because he was also in Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Was he in Guardians?
Yeah, it was like the very beginning when he's getting the orb.
He was one of the guards.
Like, Star who? Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
See that one guy from that one movie.
Exactly. It's a running joke with me and my fiance. So. Seriously.
I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Yeah.
Well, this movie spawned many seasons of TV spin-offs, and I will not watch them. Don't even get me to try to watch them. I have taken that stance, and I will continue to take that stance. So I'm sorry for all the SG-1, Atlantis, Children of the Corn, or whatever the other shows are out there. I'm not watching it. So
not my fucking MacGyver.
We will probably delve into that at some point down the road, but in this episode. So, Katherine, would you like to hit us up with a synopsis and some budgetary stuff, since we've deemed you a far better reader than I am?
Yes. Surprised you guys with that little nugget last episode.
Yes.
Literacy is not a guarantee.
No.
Well, if you don't know, this is a sci-fi adventure action movie for those watching.
Okay.
Checks all the boxes.
Okay. So, in 1928, in Egypt, a strange device was found by an expedition. In present day, 1994.
Period.
I was going to bring it up already. The second I saw that pop up, I was like,
Steven's ready.
He already loves this movie because of the period it's set in.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. The outcast linguist Dr. Daniel Jackson is invited by a mysterious woman to decipher an ancient hieroglyph in a military facility. Soon he finds the device was developed by an advanced civilization and opens a portal to a teletransport to another planet. Dr. Jackson is invited to join a military team under the command of Colonel Jonathan Jack O'Neill that will explore the new world. They find a land that recalls Egypt and humans and a primitive culture that worship and are slaves to Ra, the god of the sun. But soon they discover the secrets of the mysterious Stargate.
Oh.
Ooh.
Stargate. They had the titular line in the description.
So you know it's legit.
It's true. Way to anchor it back.
Yeah.
Quality writing team.
It's a circle. It's cyclical.
That's good. We like it.
Things. Doing the bull dance, feeling the flow.
Yeah. The budget was $55 million, which an average budget of this time period was $50 million. So it was like kind of like right in the, like right down the middle there, average. And then earnings opening weekend domestically, it earned about $16.5 million. Then domestically, $71.5 million. Internationally, $125 million, and an overall worldwide, $196-ish million. So it did well.
Yeah.
That is right about at the point where they made money on that movie. And then, I mean, like once you cut it all down and where all the money goes to, but yeah, like you gotta kind of get 3 times your budget back in that space, and
Yeah.
they did it, and they were like, hey, let's go make some TV with it now too.
Exactly, and they had competition of like Pulp Fiction and the Santa Claus, Interview with the Vampire,
Really?
Leon the Professional. Like within their first few weeks, those films were also hit in theaters.
Wow.
I saw Pulp Fiction during that time.
Yeah.
This movie wasn't the summer blockbuster that I thought it was. This came out in October.
No, yeah, it came out
Okay.
on October 28th, 1994, and it was like number 1 the first week, number 3 the third week, and then number 5 the fifth week. So.
They're trying to get in there before the Thanksgiving / Christmas push into theaters and, get a head start. I think it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if this was like a brand new like type of movie for its time period.
Yeah, I don't know why I assumed it worked. It was summer. I mean, it could have dropped during the summer and been equally as hit equally as good. When I typed in when did Stargate release, it shows me SG-1, and I'm like, why?
No,
I didn't
no.
put
You have
SG-1.
to type in film.
Yeah.
Are you sure you
Stargate
don't want
film.
SG-1?
No.
Over
How
here,
about-
sir. We've got your
about
SG-1 chair
Atlantis?
right here.
I was about to say, I'm going to go a long time about that, so put a pin in that one. Unless we want to go right into that.
Do it.
We're good to go.
I was flabbergasted as much as like the first maybe 20 minutes of this film was just a frame for frame ripped off to make Atlantis like a decade later or whatever that was.
Oh, it
Oh,
was.
Yes.
the cartoon.
Yes, like the Milo Thatch,
Oh,
like
yeah.
he's doing the pitch with the museum. Nobody believes in him. It's literally raining in both scenes, and like the mysterious figure comes in and brings him in to do this secret thing with the government.
The
and it's
only-
just he
the
literally
only
looks the
reason-
same.
It
And he
was
gets the
raining
girl
in
in
that
the end.
shot was because of the director. The director likes rain.
Yeah.
And it like tries to use it all the time. So it's like not even part of the story. It's just part of the director's choice. And
And
they
just
still ripped it.
They literally like I rewatched the intro to Atlantis, and I was like, I did the whole thing, like leaned up in my chair. Oh wait, that's the same thing.
Disney, we're
So-
looking at you.
Oh yeah, it's egregious how similar this whole intro was. I was like,
It really is.
Not good. Not good.
Well, if we're gonna go there, then I'm gonna jump to the how much of like Return of the Jedi this is, because they show up in a land of people that have not seen technology, they
Do not compare that
did you
poor
just
boy to
did
an
you
Ewok.
warm up before doing that stretch? Like,
Although I will say I was, there were definitely some Ewok moments in there. Yeah.
if anything, I would say it's
Writer?
more Indiana Jones than anything.
That's what
else.
I said.
No.
I wrote Indiana Jones.
Hold
down.
on, let me put this out there, and then you guys can shoot it down. These people show up to this land of these people who've never seen technology, who are living off the land, working, doing whatever. They show up. They have the sun god Ra his pendant on, and they treat him like a god. They feed them, they clothe them, they give them women, they do everything they can.
So
no
you're
different
saying
than,
Daniel is C-3PO then?
Yes, yes, and they're telling, you know, it's this almost the same thing. Like, it is beat for beat the same. And the only reason I went to that in my head is reading Roland Emmerich's bio. It said before fame, he originally wanted to become a production designer, but decided to become a director after watching Star Wars A New Hope. And I'm like, you know what? He just kind of grabbed these pieces, and that's fine. I'm okay. You've aggregated a whole bunch of experiences and viewing things and put them into your story, but I just see the huge similarities there. Just like you saw that the Atlantis, you know, he was like, well, grab from that, little piece here, a little piece there, and that's not to say that I don't
thing versus the Star Wars thing.
The
a little bit stronger argument from this side
to me.
Well, if your rewatchability is above a 6, next time you rewatch it, keep that in mind and see if it holds true.
I will say
But
that
that's-
they had seen technology. They were oppressed by it. That's why they feared it, and because they're used to.
Sure.
They implied that they're used to the Falcon-looking thing, like flying out and bombing the crap out of the city. Like they knew what they pissed
That's
them
normal.
off. Yeah. Well, yeah. It seemed heavily implied that like they would just like come in, like ransack and
But they had
scoop back
different
up offerings.
technology.
It was different technology.
They,
so
they had guns instead of super staffs and cool helmets and shit.
yeah.
And lighters.
Yeah, lighters
And
too.
lighters. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of big.
But that's kind of
back
where
then.
that whole
Yeah.
C-3PO, he comes with a lighter, and they're like, ooh, oh, they have the, you know, that's where my brain was going with that one.
So, did anyone watch
with
the
you.
hour-long YouTube video I sent about the Anunnaki?
No. I opened it for a second,
and I was like,
not today.
You guys
Not
ever
right
watched
now.
like TikToks or YouTube videos I send you?
that was
You're asking for
that
an
was a
hour of my time.
commitment. Yeah, I know.
I know
that was a
every
commitment.
time I send something like that, I know you guys look at the timestamp like, no, I'm not doing that. Rather than just like, oh, is this an interesting video? Maybe I'll just like see
I
how long
started it.
Okay, thank you.
I
At least
mean,
wanted
like,
I don't even-
I got into the part until the guy actually said Anunnaki, and I was like, okay, cool. And I went about my day.
To be honest, I don't even remember the text message.
It was
I love
definitely.
you, Steven.
I feel the love. I feel the appreciation.
It was too late. It was too late to watch it. I was already doing other stuff. Oh, we got hearts on Catherine.
Oh my god.
Way to go, Discord.
Yeah, but
Thanks.
Stargate is totally real. Like this is just a documentary of what happened when we first found the Anunnaki.
Oh, is
Did
that
they-
what you were trying to get at with that?
Oh no, I mean it literally just goes over like the lore that this movie builds off of, that the idea that the Egyptians is some kind of relation to space. Like we discovered the pillars under the pyramid. That's a real thing that is now going on. So it's just
It is.
it's
is
not
all
even
over TikTok.
conspiracy anymore. Like this Stargate
I've
is literally
found
just
some-
real.
I found a lot of debunking of that that whole situation. I'll go find those videos and send them to you so you can be like,
Oh,
oh,
God.
maybe it isn't.
Make
as...
sure they're at least an hour long.
Yeah, I need
Before you
it.
say
No,
Yeah,
they're on
yeah.
TikTok.
At
They're on
least.
TikTok, so they're significantly shorter.
Just let Steven live his life and believe the aliens did it.
They did. It's not
Yeah.
a belief. It's just common knowledge. Like,
All right.
And they're coming out of the ocean too, right?
we don't know what's down there.
true,
You don't
we don't.
know. You ain't been there. You don't even know what they're cooking up in Antarctica. Like, come on.
Well, I've been told it's
lot
under
of
a lot
ice.
of pressure.
Or in Alaska. Wait, what's the meme? Like, what's in Alaska? Yeah.
Is that a recent meme? I wasn't familiar with it. I
There
wasn't
was
sure how far you were pulling
something-
back from memes.
It was something to
Steven
do.
reaches way back there. in,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
the
I got
junk
'em all.
drawer.
Yeah.
Don't you remember when I got thrown out of the Chinese restaurant?
Oh, speaking of, it is absolutely canon that Kurt Russell did the Stargate thing, and then everything in Godzilla happened to where because he's playing the same character
Oh wait,
Kurt Russell is
Oh,
the guy that they
gosh.
break out of the old folks' home that runs by the government.
Which Godzilla?
The TV series
The-
Monarch,
Oh, okay.
which
was
I said like, did you
okay,
guys
hold
see
on.
Monarch? Like, it's so like this is canonical.
Okay, so
watch
where
that.
I was going with this is
Just
Roland
lost us
Emmerich
all.
directed the Matthew Broderick Godzilla.
I know, and I thought you would bring that up,
Okay.
and we're ignoring
Okay.
that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow,
No, I
I
figured.
didn't think I'd ever hear Godzilla being ignored on any of these
Technically,
podcasts.
That
it's
one
not
specifically.
Godzilla.
I mean, you have
It's-
-1 nostalgia for it. So.
I mean, I'm allowed to do that, but not from the Godzilla's spawn here.
That's true.
That is what did they name it? They named it something different that's not Godzilla because Japan was like, no, that's not Godzilla. It's like
Okay.
it's just Zilla. That's right. It's just Zilla. It's not Godzilla. It's just Zilla, which is some kind of subspecies
yeah.
of Godzilla.
Ew.
Like, yeah. So that doesn't count. That movie doesn't count. And I will say, didn't this dude also do Independence Day?
Yes.
One of my top tier movies, and I smell all of it in here, and that's just a great time the entire time.
Yeah, it was his
To-
next movie after this.
Okay.
To go back to this of like similar characters, this is really just Snake Plissken out there again. I like if you haven't seen Escape from New York or Escape from LA, which I'm sure you haven't. It's when they took Kurt Russell and they threw him into a zone that they blocked off from the rest of society where all the deviants were, in essence. And he pretty much plays the same character, except he's got cool clothes and a new haircut in this one.
And a cool name.
A Guile haircut. A Guile
On
from
top
Street
on
Fighter
top of
haircut.
that, as we're talking about similarities between characters, why
boy.
did they just emulate everything from Lethal Weapon in that whole thing? From his haircut to his getup to the gun he was going to use for the act itself, sitting in the room, like Martin Riggs mourned his wife in the same way and had kind of the same blasé attitude in the movies, and he kind of just combined that with Snake, and that's what we got out of here. At no point in time did I think any of these people were ever near or in the military once. It is such an absolute disaster to watch these guys work from that aspect. But 2 cents.
Yeah,
And then some.
I mean, I think that still lends to what we were saying is that he took pieces from all the things and combined them into this piece of work. And that's not to say that it's bad by any stretch.
Which is like also space soldiers from Aliens. Steven wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. I had
None
a
of
great
those-
time. None of this means anything to me, so I'm not even tripping.
Steven's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like they forgot to give all the soldiers, including Kurt Russell, any military training prior to this.
They did
Just
not.
the formations and things. You're just like, what are you doing? I'm not in the military.
Well, one would
I
have
don't
to
think
think
we're
that
There's, like,
these
no
people
plan.
drew the short straw to just get like yeeted into
Well,
like,
it's
oh, we don't know where this.
we have-
The
Yeah, they
robot
just
got
activated the
absolutely
Stargate
bricked,
and
but
they
we're
just
just
went-
gonna go right in there.
Exactly. Those was my. That was in my notes. It's like we activated the Stargate. Let's full steam ahead.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
plans whatsoever.
It reminds me of Stranger Things in that aspect of like the other world portal thing, and they're like, I guess this is just here now. We're chilling with it. Go in, keep sending them all in. Like,
I mean, within 20 minutes, the portal's open, and we're starting to throw things in and
Yeah.
hoping for the
It's
best.
fast.
I like the pacing. I thought that
fast.
pacing was good.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely. Well, it puts you in the shoes of James Spader, who doesn't know what's going on, and you're just like, oh wait, oh they're opening the door, oh the things, and
He
we're
did
we're
such
in.
a good
Okay.
job. I really liked his character. I really liked how he did it. I like
Funny,
Cam,
Spader,
would you
though.
like to-
didn't like the movie.
I will say that I prefer James Spader as the villain. He was wormy and goofy as trying to be the hero in this, and I guess that kind of falls into the Hey, James, I'm wondering if you could watch Return of the Jedi and take some cues from C-3PO over here. If you could kind of harness that energy, then I think we've got a hit on our hands.
And he did. And they
Just
did.
throw in some allergies.
He did.
And we're good.
Yeah, James Spader from like The Blacklist, or even his deviousness as Robert California. I like him in those types of roles. He's really dry and able to deliver some of the most heinous lines with a slight grin, and I absolutely love it. So in here, he didn't win any points for me on that one. I will also add back to that stupid military stuff. That entire squad was officers. They just happen to be like a combat officer unit. I mean, Kurt Russell's a colonel. Goddamn French Stewart's a lieutenant, and he loses his shit 7 minutes in when they're like, "Oh, we can't find exactly what we didn't think that we know where anything is because we just got to this faraway planet." And he's like ready to start killing people. I'm like, "Who are you people? What happened here?"
Did they name the planet?
There was a name. I can't remember.
Can we get a fact check?
They say it quickly.
Yeah, I thought it was something.
And it's been, I think it gets addressed in the show that I will not watch. So,
Abydos.
If you're looking for some backstory.
Abydos.
Yeah.
Also, they mentioned later on in the film that Kurt Russell's character was supposed to go there to blow up the Stargate on the other end. And James Spader's like, why didn't we just destroy the one on Earth?
I love that it was like the one on Earth is the problem. Like,
and I was like,
that's our government for you.
That was the most realistic part of this movie.
I just to jump on the devil's advocate back here, it could be like a phone line. So just because they found one and resurrected one out of Egypt doesn't mean that there couldn't have been one in the Inca lands and somewhere else that they could still resurrect a Stargate and still get back there. So destroying it at the source is the right move here. I mean, not turning it on back home, I don't think anyone there was about that kind of business. They definitely wanted to know what worked. But yeah, if he found a threat, then he was supposed to blow it up, and that's why he was picked for the suicide mission, which is, it's weird.
It does make sense the longer you chew on it.
Dark.
Well, I mean, he had nothing to lose. He was good to go.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, his poor wife trying to do whatever she was doing in the kitchen, coping with her husband and the loaded weapon in their son's room that had died. Like, I don't even know how long ago he died. It made it seem like it was on Tuesday that he passed away, but I feel like it's like 7 years later or something. I know they gave it time.
Yeah, it felt like an amount of time, like anywhere from a couple years to like a week. It didn't feel like it was like that morning by any means.
I thought he was trying to get rid of himself for that fucking haircut. That was absolutely atrocious.
Didn't he have the long hair?
Yeah.
I think he has it
Long
again.
hair.
He had it again in Monarch. That's what I'm saying. Like, it has to be canonical.
And
Well,
he had the
that's
same
kind of-
hair in Escape from the Two Cities.
Yeah. That's kind of his.
There is
haircut,
there
at
is
least
a
as of
cinematic universe
Going
here. We
overboard?
just gotta put it together.
Same haircut.
Kurt Russell's
I love
haircut
that movie.
across.
Where's Kurt Russell? What is he doing, and when is he doing it? That's your cinematic universe.
I almost
Yes.
said Bird on a Wire, but that's Mel Gibson, and he also had the same goddamn haircut.
The Russell verse. We're gonna find it.
Yeah, the Russell.
Oh my god.
I just want a box set of the Russell verse. Like,
There is something in this movie that I want in my house, and I've wanted it ever since Star Wars, because it's in Star Wars too, is the clear glass star maps.
yes.
You know, they're always like plotting
Yes.
something's going on. They're like, I want to build one. Maybe that's a fire
I know
hazard,
exactly how you would do it. I know
channel.
exactly. You just get a panel of plexi and you tape it off, and then you do the frosted stuff, and then you'll be able to like dry erase marker on it and shit. That'll look cool. And you could do LEDs on the edges and fire it in, and that should work.
through the like it line the whatever it's sitting in with LEDs. But I was like, I want one so bad. I've always wanted one since I was a little kid.
Wow,
you know,
look, that video recommendation just popped up to watch that episode.
That's the most podcast logic I've ever heard. Let's go with it.
We'll shop that out later. I like where your head's at, though.
One cool thing about this movie is we never really have heard Egyptians speak. So
No, we haven't.
Listening to these people talk, they actually hired a UCA Egyptologist to come in and make like a best guess on what this would sound like for the movie. So they missed the call on the military side, and that's got its own sense of humor. But I think they did a good job with that one instead of just really winging it as well in the same manner.
Which they again ripped off in Atlantis. They almost shot for shot. They're in the caves, and he's like broken about the markings, and she's like, "No, you're pronouncing it wrong. It's like this." He's like, "Oh my God, it's like
You
that."
say it through your nose.
Yeah. Again, like shame on Disney. God damn it! I cannot believe it's so shameless.
Easy to do, right?
I guess.
Copy pasta. Who's hungry?
How could we have accidentally done this? I just don't understand.
That's
No,
why
I
they
remember
picked a
Stargate.
movie that was. Yeah. The
Catherine,
actor who
did you have
played
something?
Raw,
Yeah.
Jay Davidson, he had no intention of acting. He didn't want to act. He was
did
actually
great.
He was like, was he a model or I can't
I think
remember.
so.
Something androgynous.
He
He
was
really
from the
did-
Crying Game. We all remember
Yes,
that.
he was. That's. But he didn't want to act, so he asked for like an egregious amount of money. He's like, "Pay me $1 million," and they're like, "Okay,"
Got him.
and they paid him. Yeah, and he's like,
He's probably
"Shit."
still on the lower build too.
But he was really happy when they dubbed his voiceover with that deep like voice changed one. So
Yeah.
apparently he was
Yeah.
like crying happy because he's like, I didn't want people to I just didn't want to act.
Yeah, he did a really good job. I mean, like if he was from the modeling industry, like it makes sense why they wanted to do that, because he was just supposed to be a god, an alien inside a human body. And so that
Apocalypse.
would it would just be very, you kind of want it to feel almost uncanny but still human, and I really like that. That's just me.
So I guess that's
Apparently
the
he
other
was
thing
a
they borrowed is
handful.
X-Men Apocalypse.
Apparently he was a handful on the set too.
Oh really?
Battling addiction and stuff. I think alcohol was one of them. And so, yeah, I think some of the things that they did in this film were a result of how he was performing at the time.
Interesting.
He
I didn't
still
know
did
that.
a great job. I hope he's still with us.
I think so.
Okay, good. 'Cause,
He's only
yeah.
done like 3-4 movies, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the last
quit
one was
acting.
For not wanting to do acting. That's a good, like, I don't want to do acting. Oh, but I just
Yeah.
casually did 4 movies. Okay, whatever.
I mean,
I made
in
$1 million off one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess the one that he did in 2009 was only a short. So, and then he did a TV movie. So he did 2 features, a TV movie, and then a short. And that short wasn't until 2009. So he had a big gap from 94 up until that point. So
Yeah,
he
I
really
think
pieced
this
out.
production caused him to say deuces. You're right.
Well, also
Elliot-
James Spader was like a pain in the ass too because he didn't like the script.
Yeah.
He like
He was
he
all
like,
over
hid
it.
it. Yeah, he hid in his like I don't know office or what I don't know
Trailer?
his- Trailer. Thank you. Words are hard.
I got it.
Trailer, and like Kurt Russell had to like pull him out by his scruff. He's like, yeah, the lines are shit, but that's why we get paid.
right.
Oh, there was one line. Where did I mark it down?
Oh,
shows.
there was a great one that was. He was like, "How you doing?"
No, there wasn't.
Cinema. I literally, I was like, "That's the greatest line." Cinema. I don't even remember what it was, but I have it written down. I rarely take notes when watching this stuff, but that one I was like, in quotes, "How you doing?" Cinema.
When they found the
Responding that way.
when they found the 7th symbol so they could open the Stargate, and they
like,
kind of find him.
I found it.
They find him in the cave, and they just cuts to him, and he turns around, and he's like, "We're going home," and you're like, "Ugh, that's just an awful delivery." Like, James, what are you doing? Choices were made, and they weren't good. I disliked his allergies. Like, that was a choice, and whether that was a choice by the director
annoying.
or him.
Yeah, it was annoying. I didn't like it.
It didn't bring anything to the character other than he has allergies and he's a nerd.
Do you know what it brought to me?
Yes.
Because
It was hard to delineate nerd back then. They had to be extra mousy and extra quirky, but in an obnoxious way.
But they were trying to make James Spader a nerd. I don't know.
But okay, first of all, that's not fair. That's fair. He's a great villain. He's actually a great anti-hero.
Well, wasn't he like the heartthrob of the '80s, and they're making him this nerd? Like, this doesn't fit.
It does. If you don't know and you're face blind, like I am, he did a very great job. I thought he was a great Milo Thash in Atlantis.
I absolutely hated it in this movie. And as soon as I did that, within 3 days for an entire week, I had headaches and sneezing and blowing my nose from allergies out here. And I was like, God damn you, James Spader. I was like, all right, I guess so. If he goes out to the desert somewhere and it's a new place, he could have a whole different version of ragweed. Who knows?
But I guess
there.
I don't know. It just didn't do anything for me other than like the kid stealing his handkerchief, and that was it.
Yeah,
we didn't do anything for us.
He could have stole his Zagnut. I mean, I know that was
no, it's Fifth Ave.
Oh yeah, the Fifth Ave.
Fifth Ave product placement.
Sorry, not Beetlejuice. Stargate.
You got something, Steven?
I'm gonna double check the character. I think it's Ganeen Loeffler is the actor, maybe. The one of the kids that gets absolutely bricked at the final end of the movie.
The Ewok?
Yep.
Yeah, it breaks my heart. I was like, no, not him.
That was an Ewok moment. I don't know.
Oh my god. Cam's rating it Ewok out of 10. Cam's just not allowed to use numbers anymore because we know he's gonna hate it. So I just need some arbitrary scores.
It's a lot of grunting and flexing on the camera.
Yes, the character played by Ganeen Loeffler. When he got bricked, I lost it. I was like, no, God damn, why? I was feeling. I don't know. I got really wrapped up in this movie. I was having a blast. So I
mean, it's you can't it's easy to get. I enjoy this movie. This is oddly a comfort movie for me that I don't always go to watch it, but I've always watched it when it's on, and I've never disliked it. But this comes to a point that I wanted to bring up, was that as much as I love this movie, I also had a gripe with the scope of this movie. And it's very self-contained. Yes, we travel through the stars, through a portal, or whatever that wavy, bridge slip and slide that we go through. But we land on that planet. We walk out of the building. And we walk out of the temple, over some sand dunes. We're at the settlement. We walk back to the thing. The fight scene, the end happens, and then we're out of the movie. And it's just like, I want more. And this
almost like they turn it into a TV series where they can explore everything.
No.
I get where Nick is coming from. I get where Nick is coming from, though, because I literally had. Yes, it is a TV series, but I wanted more on this story itself versus exploring and creating more stories in this world. I wanted, this whole movie could have been a TV series itself, is what I wrote. And expanding on the history of.
But who's gonna fund it? Who's gonna fund it?
So
I know.
Based on the video that I watched about SG-1 to kind of understand what the hell it was about, they go back and get James Spader's character. It ain't James Spader now, it's somebody else because they can't afford James Spader. And then kind of seemingly shit all over him as a scientist. that he doesn't try to they try to discredit him throughout the whole show. Again, this is merely surface level, so I'm sure there's SG-1 fans screaming in the comments at me.
Sorry,
but
guys.
I don't think so.
But yeah, no.
All two of them.
I've been
All two
looking
of
for
them.
him. Yeah, I think all two of them are sleeping right now.
Yeah, unless I'm mad about it, no one's getting a flame. I'm the only one. It's my role to get yelled at online.
I mean, I'm willing to take that too.
Well,
I
we'll
almost
just have
won't-
Steven voice all the opinions.
Right, exactly. I'll just, we'll take the transcript and I'll just voice everybody's opinion, the exact same opinion, and A/B test them against each other, and only mine's gonna get...
So we need to re-record with Steven talking about how much he hates
Exactly.
Gremlins.
Yeah. We'll do that for next April Fools, where it's just I'm just gonna do the podcast, but I'm playing each person in the thing.
That'd be good.
Sorry,
That'd be really funny.
What were
like
you
that.
saying there?
But yeah, it's just one of those things that I wanted. I wanted more here. It was only 2 hours. You
Yeah.
could have given me 2.5. You could have given me 3, and I would have sat through it.
Yes.
And that's something I've always thought from when it came out till now. Even watching it now, I'm like, give me more of this.
This is dangerous.
100%
Who
agree.
owns the IP? Because you're really justifying a remake, which makes me scared.
There was a words. Someone put out something on the internet with some artwork and saying that they were recasting it with Rami Malek and Chris
Ooh.
Evans, but it wasn't real.
Amazon
ended up being
MGM Studios.
Oh, yep, get wrecked. You're going to get more of it. I smell it coming. Bezos is like, that's a good podcast you got there. You're giving me ideas.
Let's resurrect this old Stargate.
I mean, they went.
They can afford
10
Spader now. Spader could be
seasons?
Raw. That'd be fun.
Ooh, that's
Robert California
I
is
definitely
raw.
don't want to see James Spader half naked with a bunch of small children running around him. That just
James Spader
Not
does
a
not
good
look
look.
like that anymore.
it's very villainish, and that would put him in the right role.
Maybe he could be
that's
like
true.
the one of the hench, like the guy that whispers into the emperor or god's ear. So he's getting more screen time. Maybe that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Fine, whatever.
Steven's really.
I got
you
kicked
hurt
off the
yourself with that
casting.
stretch too.
You're right. Golly. Well.
So major awards.
Anyway.
Saturn?
did this movie.
Did they go to Saturn?
Did this movie win any awards?
It did.
Oh.
It has 6 wins and 6 noms.
All right.
noms.
First up is Sci-Fi Universe Magazine Award. Woo!
Huge.
Huge.
The biggest
They won-
award, the best awards.
It's a beautiful magazine.
Yes, fantastic. I don't read it though. One best sci-fi film. The actress who played Shah Udi, she won Best Supporting Actress, and then Best Visual Special Effects. It won a Golden Screen Award. It was just like, I guess, it just won the award. There
just
isn't
won
anything
it.
specific. It just won the award. BMI
Winning.
Film and TV. It won Best Film Music. So good music in the movie. And then
I like the score for this movie
It was
a lot.
Yes,
so
it's good.
John Williams inspired. It felt
Oh,
very
yeah.
Indiana Jones from
I-
the intro credit. I
I
loved it.
kept making my wife check. I was like, "Who wrote this? Like who's doing the score? It's got to be him, right? It's got to
No.
be that guy. Nope,
It
it's
is
not him.
David Arnold. Yeah. But
I mean, is he still
Cam's
around? 'Cause-
absolute favorite award, the Saturn Award.
Yeah.
Love those cars.
Give me a Saturday.
It won Best Science Fiction Film, and it was nominated for makeup and costumes.
I
Is this-
loved the makeup and the costumes. I thought
Yeah.
they were top notch.
Is the
I
Saturn
loved all that.
is the Saturn
I can't
Award
say
still
the
a
same
thing?
for
I think so.
SG-1.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I've.
We're making
Fact
Cam
check.
watch the Saturn Awards. Like, I think we have to make him do it.
With the next one that comes on, we should definitely do a Saturn Awards review and then
Yes.
come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best
Good
moments of
news
the
and bad
Saturn
news
Award.
here. Good news and bad news. Yes, the Saturn Awards are still active, but it was in February. February 2nd.
Yeah,
They just missed it.
We could go watch
You
it.
gotta wait till next year.
We can go watch it. It doesn't have to be a live event. You're absolutely right.
Because you don't know what they. You tell me one award they awarded at that. And
I don't know nothing.
exactly.
No.
I mean,
It's
You
like
guys
we're
have
watching it
Stargate
live.
there's a quote on their website from Bruce Campbell saying, "Getting a Saturn Award, that gives you street cred where I come from."
I fucking love Bruce Campbell. That is
He's the best.
great.
Well, your favorite film in the whole world won for best film and makeup this year. So.
Spoilers.
I said that last episode, bruh.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's only a spoiler if you haven't seen that episode. But for everyone else that was a part of it, we were.
Well, if you
we were
want
in
Cam's
the know.
hot take, we'll put a link.
I can talk about how much I like the Saturn cars. And oh my god, they have an awards. What do? Every time I come across them, it will never stop.
Oh man, that was fantastic. So there was also something else I want to bring up before we get into scores soon, and I don't know
Do
if
it.
anyone else saw this. There was a bunch of production.
Oopsies.
We'll call them oopsies. Yes.
Continuity.
No, this was a couple times in Kurt Russell's glasses. You could see the whole crew and their big like 12 by soft or bounce card, and also one of their lights in there. But you could see all the people and all the umbrellas because they're out in whatever
That's
desert they're
hilarious.
shooting in.
Wow.
And then on a few shots, well, more than a few shots, I pulled screenshots for it to show you guys at some point. But the cables on the spaceships as they were flying around, they were all shot, off somewhere else.
Yeah.
But they didn't go in and roto out or shoot a plate and make those cables disappear. Like, they are clearly thick black cables holding these spaceships as they fly through the frame, and it's just real bad. And like,
Where
Well,
like
that's,
they
it wasn't made.
they didn't get a Saturn award for visual effects, right?
no, they didn't.
That like it was
Well,
it was an
here's the
Oscar
thing.
that they got for that.
No, they didn't get any Oscars.
No. Really? That was really good work.
Well,
Can't imagine
high
it should make the
definition.
list.
High definition film in 4K is really showing off some of those.
That's why you watch it on
oopsies
the
in older films.
CRT. Like, how
But-
else did you guys
So,
watch
like-
this film? I don't understand.
Like in Flash Gordon, they had to go through and remove all the strings when they made it in 4K.
it
Because apparently
was-
it
it
looked
was not good.
awful.
Yeah. I would
Oh, the 4K version
But that's-
doesn't have the strings?
No, in
No.
Flash Gordon.
Oh. Because I didn't
The movie
notice
you
them,
haven't seen.
but I was having fun, so maybe the
I wasn't paying
the
attention.
Funavision.
The Funavision.
yeah, I mean, I've seen this movie 100 times, so it's just I happened to like catch it. My eye gravitated to it, and I mean, this was shot on 35, projected in a theater, and they didn't bother to fix those little things. And I'm assuming they were like, whatever.
They didn't have
It's
the
It goes
budget.
by so quick. Yeah.
I'm going out on a ledge here, or yeah, the tip. Pyramid sucked. Like the outside
Which
pics of
one?
the pyramid, all of them. Anytime a pyramid was in against the landscape, it just looks so
yeah.
fake.
Honestly,
I
the
like
back-
interior
yeah.
shots, but I mean, like those are pretty easy to replicate. But yeah, the outside ones for visual effects, like it was kind of hokey.
Well, so I presumed that the wide shots, at least the one where they see all the different moons, was a matte painting.
Yeah.
That was my guess. Is that what that
Yeah.
was? Now, when Ra's his pyramid came down and landed on top of the other one, that was a miniature.
That looked good.
That was all miniature.
Yeah. That one looked better. Yeah, any still, or like they were walking towards it, or they were just panning the landscape, it just stuck out so bad.
I think it had to have been some kind of lighting thing, because to me, I literally said, like, wow, that looks blown out. Like, it looks wrong, and I think that could be something that's fixed in post, or could be like in the re-release or whatever. Not that they're gonna ever do that, but they'll do some digital that could be fixed today, just on top of it not having access to like the raw thing. I will say the Birdman costume, that was nice. The Birdman, the soldiers, those are really good. I like those.
We have
Anubis.
Yeah, we have Anubis. Anubis is the dog.
Yeah.
And then I think Horus is the bird.
Yes, Horus. Yes. Yeah, that's right.
And then there was one more.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Those were great costumes. As a filthy degenerate, I do like me some League of Legends, and there's a whole region that's based off of, I think, this movie. Now that I've seen it, it's Space Egypt. Like, that's what their whole like bit is. Is like they lean more to the magical over the sci-fi, but it's Space Egypt. Like, that's a trope, which I'm assuming comes from this, and then just like the conspiracy as well. Is there earlier movies or cinema that does Space Egypt, or is this the starting point of it?
I think this is
kind of
Space
it
Egypt.
first.
That and the hour-long video that you sent us, I think,
That we did not
The
watch.
Anunnaki, go check that out.
Yeah,
Go look
Anunnaki.
like
I
when
think
you
that's
guys
the
are
rest of the Space
working,
Egypt.
when y'all are working, throw it on the background. You're like, could be.
All
I'm
right.
just asking questions.
There's a little Skeksis action there.
Maybe.
Could be. Could find that Stargate.
If Raw didn't want the people to know that they're actually just like humans in these masks, then why did they show that they were people to Daniel and his crew?
Oh, because they saw him as a threat. They
okay.
They knew that, like, the jig is up. Like, we gotta lay it down. And to me, what I just assumed, and maybe I'm just giving the movie a lot of credit, this isn't the only installment of this alien taking over the human host thing. Like, this is probably one of many, and like if there's like a whole Stargate network, and they probably go into this in the show.
I thought you were talking about aliens.
Hold on. I understood him to be the last of his race. That he was.
I'm
leaving
sure
his home.
I'm
This
sure
is where
he thought
found.
that, but that means there's more at one point.
I mean, is there more Superman?
Yes, there's more Kryptonians.
There's
always more Kryptonians. They're always coming out of the window like, oh yeah, I also survived. Like, yeah.
Well,
Bad writing.
Sorry, Cam, you got lawyered on that
necessarily
one.
know that all of them are going to have their own little like Egyptian ant farm where they just cultivate other
Someone hasn't
societies with
seen
another
Invincible.
Stargate.
Someone hasn't watched Invincible over here. No, yet? He hasn't. No, he hasn't. Oh no! You should watch that.
Or SG-1.
I think you get a lot about. I think you get a lot out of that. I immediately put on. We watched part of that documentary thing, and then immediately went into Invincible. I'm like, oh my god, this is just like Invincible. Like we gotta watch some Invincible now. Like,
I don't know what that is. I can't promise you that I will review that afterwards.
You will love it.
No,
You will love
Okay.
it.
It's a show.
All right.
We'll
It's
see about
great.
that.
You'll like it too, Catherine. I guarantee.
No, I know I will, but I'm just saying Cam.
Cam's gonna love. You know what? I'll put it hard. I don't think he's gonna have any beef. Now he is gonna be really upsetty spaghetti because he knows every single voice actor in there, and they really cram in the star-studded cast. So he's
They
like,
sure
oh,
do.
that guy, blah blah blah. He'll do that,
It's true,
but he'll
because
still.
when Josh is watching it, I'm like, is that so-and-so? And he's like, yeah.
I do like my voice actors.
Yeah,
And I love that Steven can't name a single one.
I could nope.
No.
That's why I'm just like, I'm a giddy little
Not
boy.
even
This
Seth
is
Rogen,
fun.
bro.
I did.
No, I brought that up.
Yeah,
I brought
thought
that up and I said, what's his name? Andy. Andrew?
Samberg?
What the?
The Cyclops.
No, the Cyclops guy in the show. He's out in space. He came from space to warn Invincible. Anyways, I said the name and he was like, "Who?" And I'm like, "That guy, the Cyclops guy." And he was like, "Oh, that's Seth Rogen."
You hurt me, Steven.
What? I did get Justin Roiland, which was a very like small cameo in that, but I was like, I know that guy. He was playing a drunk predator on a college campus. Like, probably wasn't the best role for him to take.
Yeah.
Obscure actors for Steven. So scores.
Oh, Alan the alien. That's what it was.
Scores.
And it was an A. Alan was his name.
Alan, yeah,
What?
that's right.
Yes, scores. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I can just get beat down over the entire thing.
How are we going to beat you down for having the wrong opinion?
I know. I can't imagine.
Carry on.
So, nostalgia bias. You know what? I think it's going to be a high number because it's like that old school. It's not zany, but adventure sci-fi, which is a rare niche. Like, we don't see movies like that anymore. I can't remember. I think Crystal Skulls is probably the last attempt to do something of this style, and that was buns. I'll be the first one to say that. That was buns. This was great.
Wait, hold on. I need to decipher your millennial slang. Buns being
Buns
good or
mean
buns
bad.
being bad?
Bad.
There you go.
Like
Bad.
booty,
Okay.
like buns, as in ass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
Anyway,
Cheeks.
I
I can also
love
refer to them as cheeks.
cheeks. Yeah. The nostalgia bias is high because of Space Egypt, one of my favorite conspiracies. Like Independence Day, all those. Independence Day is one of my top tier movies. I don't know if I've disclosed that. I love that movie. I love the crud out of that movie.
We should tear that movie apart sometime.
Oh my god. Anyway, 9 out of 10.
Yes.
I'm giving it a high. The only reason it's not a perfect 10 is because I hadn't seen it before and I didn't know what it was. Production value, you know, there's some problems with it. Dialogue, I did notice. Some of the special effects were kind of, you know, I definitely noticed like every time it was a wide shot in Space Egypt, it kind of looked garbage.
Special effects. Can I see you after class?
Yeah, like, hey, you know, like, you were given the deadline way in advance. You knew when this stuff was due. Could we, like...
You have so much potential.
Right.
Why aren't you living up to that potential?
That's so funny. I feel disappointed.
Very disappointed in you.
Yeah, I really liked the star power. And I really, which is not usually something that I care about, but I was like, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. The practical effects were really, really good. I miss practical effects of that level to this day. Disney, you ripped off the entire plot, so might as well just, you know, rip off doing the practical effects. I want to see Andor Season 2 not look like buns. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
How the hell are you going to try to slam Andor midway through that ramble? Get out of here. Don't you ever talk bad about that show again. We'll
Those
put a
hate
Post-it
comments are
note
now
over your
rolling
face.
in, Steven. Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, sorry. Or a TV if we're gonna
Shits
go
on
in the
Andor,
TV show compared to this Andor compared to this movie, that being a TV show and this being a 2-hour movie, Andor destroys this movie in production value.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
they found the plans to the Stargate in the first 20 minutes and exploded it. What are you talking about?
Calm down, gentlemen. I like Andor Season 1. I'm saying Disney, since Season 1, is not good about correctly leveraging practical effects, correct? Is that out of pocket?
What
Obi-Wan Kenobi on the camel. Obi-Wan on the camel to this day is the Kenobi series in general.
Did that not come out after? I know
I mean,
are
that was
hard
someone's
on
Yes, it came out
vision.
after
I hated that.
Andor. It's a
Did it?
completely different crew.
I I can't even believe we're here right now. But anyways, like what they did from a practical aspect on Andor, I don't have no reason to believe they're going to not do that again. Everyone loves that show. There's maybe one person that doesn't like that show, and I think I play games with them.
Clip it. Clip it for future purposes.
Obi-Wan came out in May. Andor came out in September.
Okay. They had a shorter... So they were developed at the same time.
They're by two different crews. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, which crew is getting to do the Andor? They put the Kenobi team on it? Then I don't trust it.
That'd be weird as hell to just give it to another team and be like, yeah, this was wildly successful.
Is that what outside what they would do? No, that's what Disney be doing. Anyway, I should have said Acolyte. I apologize, Cam.
There you go. That's a better one.
God forbid you liked something I didn't know about that. Oh, Lord.
What's wrong with the Acolyte?
Well, now we got 2 things that Cam likes.
All right. Wow. Can I get a post-it note so I can keep it on the monitor so avoid speaking ill about these things that Cam's likes? 1, 2, maybe a third. Okay.
I'm just saying it's like getting ready to punish the dog who hasn't taken a piss on the floor yet. What are you talking about? He's a good dog. Look at him. He did.
Do you know how you guarantee that he won't piss on the floor?
I'm not. It's weird. He hasn't given me any reason to think that he's going to piss on the floor.
No, have you seen? We're going to go into meme territories because this is already derailed.
Oh,
but when the two dogs are sitting there, and then the guy has the puppet dog, and he does the thing, and then he beats the crap out of the puppet. And the dog's like, "That's what I did with Andor season 2." Nick, put up the footage.
Yeah, I got to look this one up while you give your rest of your scores.
Okay.
Our production value was a 7.
Yeah, spirit or emotional value intent. I rated it a 9 because I thought it was the best sci-fi adventure epic I've ever seen outside of Star Wars. It's
or
really
Return
up
of the
there.
Jedi.
I think Return of the Jedi might be better, but honestly, it's kind of close for me personally. I really, really like this movie, and I think they really set out to do a space opera, you don't see that anymore. This is something that is very much a period piece.
There's a little movie called The Fifth Element. That is quite the space opera.
Yeah.
Have we seen that yet, Steven? Oh my God! I feel like that has to be the next movie because it's
Nicholas
so
already picked,
very
but we could do
tightly
that
connected.
Yeah,
I agree.
We can tag that one up right after.
Okay,
I'm down with that.
And then you can see how shitty Stargate is in comparison.
You know what? We live and learn.
It's true.
Yeah, Fifth Element is moi.
Something Cam
Rewatchability.
likes.
Oh my God! Can I do what I'm doing?
No.
No. Rewatchability is 10 out of 10. I'm going to be watching this
Really?
again. I really loved it. I really, really love this movie. I don't know. I mean, it's no Deep Horizon Zero Impact, but you know, it's a good bet.
It's Atlantis.
It's Atlantis. It actually makes me kind of hate Atlantis, and I really like the Atlantis movie. But this, I was like, wait a minute. Overall, it's an 8 out of 10, putting me at a 43 out of 50, which is an 86%. No. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can do math.
I'm not mathing.
All right.
Nick will correct me.
43, 86. Yeah.
I did it.
Okay.
Yay me.
You passed.
I did it. And I will say, IMDb has it at a 7 out of 10, so I'm in the ballpark. I just give it a little bit more love because I like it. So,
Yes.
all right, Cam, do you want to go next?
Sure.
So Cam's gonna right out the gate. This was buns.
Absolute buns.
Nostalgia is cheeks on this one. Absolutely. I do remember being in high school for this. I do remember going and seeing it. I love the fun fantasy surface level Egyptian sci-fi of it. So I went in with an 8 on nostalgia bias. It is a cool genre, and it does bring me back to the time. However, production.
Nosedive.
There's a lot of good things about this movie. The score off the top, like, that was great. The language piece of it, their practical effects, the physical things that they did in there, those were all great. Those special effects, those were less than desired, and I think really brought it down. Though I never noticed the military aspect of it before. And, again, watching these movies with different lenses, it kind of detracts from it. You're right. They kind of all got together and just started this movie right out of the gate and then went to a very constricted place. I think that ultimately impacted the score. Yeah, out the gate. Yeah. I gave production a 6 on this one. Our spirit and intent, I think they did in fact hit the mark with this, for fulfilling that kind of childhood wonder and embellishing and these kind of conspiracy-ish ideas that they were not made by man, they were made by aliens, and they just happened to also shapeshift and take our bodies. And they have really cool staffs. Spirit Intent 8 on this one. Rewatchability, I still think it hits an 8. I would rewatch this again. I watched it. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I've never turned away from this movie. I think I'd look at it definitely with a different set of eyes. I won't be watching it next week, but I'll probably keep it on again. Overall for this movie is a 7 for me. I like James Spader as the villain. I think some of the lines and his characters is goofy. The whole Kurt Russell thing was absurd. And then French Stewart too, not acting like a lieutenant at all. Acting like a guy in boot camp. Some of those things were a bit wacky. I definitely noticed the Return of the Jedi element in there, so I think that kind of takes it down for me overall. So if we go ahead and math, we're looking at a 36, and that would give us a 72%.
Interesting. I also want to point out that I like how the millennials noticed the Atlantis thing while the Gen X noticed the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Atlantis you're talking about right now.
The Disney movie.
Animated one.
Atlantis Lost Empire.
Yeah, I figured Catherine would get caught in this one.
I'm confident in my lack of knowing anything about Atlantis now.
Cam, you said 86887.
8688. Oh yeah, sorry, 7.
8, 6,
So
8, 7.
that's a 37.
Yeah,
So you get a 74.
74.
Nice.
Interesting.
Catherine, do you want to hit us up with some scores? All right.
Yes. You're going to notice a theme with my scores.
Ooh. They're all great.
Yeah, the best, obviously.
Literally the best. The best scores.
The best
Lots of ones
scores
and
you could ever
zeros.
have. Yes,
Look at the beautiful
they're fantastic.
scores.
Good Space Force reference.
It's the best force.
That's what we saw.
Nostalgia.
That's what we saw in the movie. Sorry. That's why
Go ahead.
Just
that's why
let her
Cam's
do
so.
what she's supposed to do.
I'm trying to do something, Steven. Shut up.
Damn it, Steven,
Go ahead,
shut
Tom.
up.
Go ahead, Tom.
Nostalgia, 7. I do love me some Egyptian mythology, fantasy stuff. I was minorly excited to watch this again. It's been a minute, but I wasn't like over the moon about it. But I do have some pretty fond memories of watching this film with my family, particularly my dad. I know he really enjoys this movie, so I do have some nostalgia for it.
Yeah.
Production value, 7. There are some beautiful sets throughout, and the costumes are amazing. But I mean, we've already discussed them. Special effects were rough in some areas. And I know this was like
The eyes. I forgot to mention the,
The
eyes.
eyes,
It bothered
the
me
eyes.
so much.
Dang it! I thought we were gonna get away from it.
yeah,
Oh my god! I'm like, oh, don't do that.
I'm
you
not
could have
gonna
done
bring it
anything.
anything with the eyes, or even the way the helmets were like collapsing. I don't know. It just took me out of the movie. Yeah.
It's very Power Rangers, if that means anything to anyone. Yeah.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. So yeah,
It was.
But there were some really cool practical effects with like the giant space yak thing that's a puppet, and then there was the
That was
when
a
they
horse.
that was a horse. Oh, okay.
Was that Jim Henson?
It was a Clydesdale, actually.
Okay.
Seriously? Oh,
Yeah, I
was
like
wondering-
horse in costume.
Yeah, that thing was a horse in costume.
That's awesome.
That is wildly interesting.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that went very well. Putting a horse in a costume in a desert. I think.
Yeah,
Probably not.
yeah. I'm not sure what they did to keep him cool, but not my job. Actually, that was before the time where they cared about like
Yeah, I
there
was
were no
about to say-
animals harmed in this. So like he took out an entire farm to film like the 5-minute sequence of the yak in the desert.
I mean, it's just like the damn deer on the car in Tommy Boy. That took them forever to get that shot.
Do we know who
Sometimes you gotta wait it
did?
out.
Do we know who
Huh?
did the costume for the horse?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I would assume the creature
Nikki,
shot.
Nikki
but I
Two
don't know.
Drinks. Can you?
Nikki
Cold
Two
drinks.
Drinks.
Cold drinks. Okay.
He's always got cold drinks. He
Nikki
probably
Two
has got
Drinks
two.
sounds so much
The
better.
best
Nikki
drinks
Cold
ever.
No,
Drinks.
I only got one right now.
All right, Nikki Cold Drinks. Fact check.
Kleiser Walziak Construction Company. Digital effects supervisor worked on. Yeah, I don't know who this is.
Well, they did a good job.
gun? Can we use a
Wait,
nail
is that
gun
whole-
on the horse? We just
It
Pump it on him.
worked. It looked
The
good.
visual effects were overseen by Jeffrey Okun.
Also, the Stargate, when they activate it, that's a practical effect of them like shooting an air gun into water, which is really freaking cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did like
Yeah.
that
Wondering
part.
Yeah,
Where
that
they
was a
got
cool
that.
part.
That's where all the effects went.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a big pool over here. How big? Enough for the crew. I mean, we gotta push bubbles through here. Make it look real.
I was literally going to ask you, Cam, where did we blow the budget in this movie? Because we decide every film.
It was there because everything else was bare ass bones. They used it all on this water thing. It was like, guys, it's the whole hook. It's called the Stargate. You got to put all the money into the Stargate. If we don't have a good trailer for the Stargate, no one's gonna go see the Stargate. So yeah, that's where the budget went.
There you
It was
go.
right into that.
I'm glad we
$50
cracked the
million
code.
and a million for Mel Russell.
Yep.
All right.
Why we gotta
Where-
do Mel Russell?
He's not going to get a single hate comment for that, too.
Catherine,
He
what's your
wrote that in.
spirit
Spirit-
and intent?
Following our theme, 7.
I think I can just
I really thought
confidently
about
write
this.
down the next set
Yeah,
of them here.
yeah, you can. I really, I'm not doing this because I was being lazy. I literally was like, do I need to go back and think about this? No, I'm pretty solid on these numbers. Yeah, this works.
It just be 7 sometime.
It'd just be 7 because I was like, do I need to rethink this? No, I'm gonna go with my initial reaction here, and I'm gonna stick
Yeah.
with it. Yeah. So 7. I am an absolute whore for lore. I like the history of stories, and I felt like this one, the story was too big for the film time. I like Nick and I already brought up. This honestly, the movie itself, I thought could really work in some sort of series. Minus, like, yes, I know they made a TV show, obviously, but the story of this film could have fit across multiple movies. It could have been a TV series. It could have expanded
Atlantis.
so much more. Yes, and Atlantis suffered from that too.
It does.
It really does. I wanted to know more about Ra being in Egypt, Ra taking all these people as slaves. I wanted to know more about that, and I thought that really personally kind of suffered in this film. Regardless of it being fun, it was still a fun film to watch, but
I think that's the only appropriate
more.
time where it's okay to say I want to see more slavery.
Cut the footage again. Edit that out.
You kind of stopped me dead in my tracks on that one, Cam. I just like.
Moving on.
Anyway, it was a fun film, and it like Steven said, it is a unique science fantasy film. Mm-hmm. I liked it. 7. Rewatch. Guess what? Surprise, surprise. 7. This is something I do enjoy revisiting from time to time, but it's not like super high on my list. It's just meh. Yeah, sure, I'll watch Stargate, but it's nothing spectacular to me. So overall, guess what? Can you guess? 7.
Dang it.
No, 8.
70s.
8. No.
It's an 8? No, you hit it with the 8.
No, it's 7.
There was a theme until there wasn't.
7. It is a fun movie, but I just constantly, when I watch it, I want more. I just want more of the story. I want more of that backstory, really fill it out and round it out. So 35 out of 50, and I am lower than Cam this time round. I'm 70%.
Yeah.
That's why I said interesting. I was like, whoa.
I mean, we're 2 points difference on this. It's not that far off. It's still a passing grade here, getting into the 70s.
It's a C. It's a C. It's a solid. It's a mid. Yeah.
It's a solid C. You copied off my homework.
Side note about the scope of this film and how it would really do well as a micro series. Felt the same way about Gladiator 2. Not gonna lie.
You watched it?
I haven't seen it
did.
yet.
I've tried to talk to you on the phone several times about it, and you ignore me.
No, that's
that?
That's
Me
not,
or Katherine?
That's not something Nikki Two Drinks does.
Yeah, Nicky Two Drinks. He's just left me hanging.
Cold drinks.
Actually, Nikki Two Drinks will leave you on red, but I mean, Nikki Cold Drinks, he'll probably talk to you a little bit about it.
But what does Nickel Pickle do?
Nickel. Nothing that we'll talk about this podcast.
Yeah, not on this podcast. All right, let me get into my scores. All right, my nostalgia for this movie, 8.5. This movie was on HBO all the time. I don't know if I don't think I ever saw it in the theater. If I did, I was 14, 15, or whenever it came out. So I could have, but I know I watched it at home on HBO or renting it from Blockbuster.
This would have been a good young child movie experience to go and see, especially given that time too. Reddit Halloween. It's possible.
And it's possible.
It's possible you have that kind of love that they would take you to Stargate.
It maybe we would have went as it was this wasn't
94?
rated PG
94.
maybe.
It was PG-13.
No.
Oh, 13.
Okay. Yeah, so I could have gone to see it anyways.
Yeah.
But I was a big fan of Kurt Russell, Tombstone, Backdraft, Tango and Cash, Overboard. I watched Overboard so many times on HBO. And Big Trouble in Little China. Big Trouble in Little China.
That's another one Steven has to see.
God, same haircut. Not as good that haircut.
It really.
What is so wrong with it? I like it. That's the only way I know him.
Prove it.
Yeah.
What do you mean prove it?
Show me that you like that haircut enough to do it. Otherwise, get
I
out
don't
of
know
here.
if I can. That's a long time to wait. You do it.
Yeah, no way. I already had it.
I did.
It's the only way you know him because you have face blindness.
Maybe, but no, but also he just is the guy from Monarch,
Yeah, because that's what everybody knows him from.
Yeah.
I
will confidently say
Monarch.
that nothing mentioned of his backlog I have seen, so I haven't seen any of those things.
I'm not surprised by that statement either.
That is a shame. And, especially on the Tombstone side, rip Val Kilmer, but you should really at least watch that movie out of all the things that were listed there.
That's why you like and
have not seen
subscribe,
that one.
because that's what we're doing.
You haven't seen Tombstone?
That's a good
All
one.
right, yeah. Might be a good history lesson.
There you go. All right, so production value, I gave it a 7. I knocked off some points for those simple things that could have been fixed with their production, with the wires on the ships and the crew members in his glasses. I mean, this is a big budget Hollywood movie in 1994. Millions of dollars were put into it and just kind of left on the table, or those things were left unaddressed. It happens, but again, wanted a bigger scope for this movie, wanted more out of this movie. As everyone said, some of the cheesy or weird dialogue. So I knocked off some points in that. I do
would never
like
say this.
the practical effects, or the combination of practical and CG. The practicals were better. The CG stuff, obviously, it was 94, so they were still... Jurassic Park had just come out, so they were still in the process of making those things look better over time. As we went along, they got better. And I guess the other point that I was going to make is that they didn't anticipate this going more. We didn't get DVDs until like 95, 96, which were a better fidelity than VHS. So even if they had the forethought that this was going to go to a home video, our technology wasn't to that extent yet. So
They did.
on VHS and, broadcasting over coax cable only looks so good. And they didn't anticipate that. I would like to see if they actually... I don't have this on... Catherine, do you have this on Blu-ray? Did they do anything to beef it up at all, or to make it look better? Or they just left it as is?
I didn't really notice too much.
Oh, okay.
I watched
think
it on
the copy that I
You're
watched.
giving me shit for owning a Blu-ray there.
I did watch it on
for
Tubi.
sevens across the board. I'm surprised that you have it. That's all I'm saying.
I've had it a long time, to be fair.
You can send it to me, like if it's not collecting dust in
That
your
was a
collection.
quick no. Next.
Steven, you said you watched it on Tubi?
Yeah, and I didn't notice the wires specifically, so maybe they put in an effort to
That doesn't
edit
surprise me,
those
though.
out.
Yeah, I didn't notice wires, but I can go back and check.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I did pull evidence, so I'm not just pulling stuff out of my ass.
Future
No.
Nick, prove it. Let me see the clip.
Prove it, coward.
All right. So for
Pixar didn't
Spirit
happen.
and Pixar, it didn't happen. I do have the pic, so it did happen.
All right.
Spirit, I gave this a 7. It tells a concise story. Again, we all want more from this movie. We want more story, a bigger, it's no Lord of the Rings, but I want maybe even a quarter of Lord of the Rings for this movie. That was something that we didn't address, or that I didn't bring up. The fight scene that happens to our climax of this movie is just Kurt Russell fighting one of a random minions,
Horus.
and then
Oh, no,
they
that
blow
was-
what?
I'm sorry. Go on.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like just a random fight scene with Kurt Russell and who gives a shit, and then they send the bomb up and blow up the thing when it's in outer space. Like, we didn't really fight the bad guy. James Spader got his head rocked by him with his little magic fingies. But other than that, like, the big bad really didn't do anything big and bad other than just be and have his little magic fingers.
Like
So
Palpatine.
Glowy eyes.
I guess, like, and his glowy eyes, yes, like Palpatine.
Very much like Palpatine, yeah.
Like Palpatine in
where-
Return of the Jedi.
yeah, we're just
That is
making
not
those connections.
correct. That is not correct.
Then they thought
Return
they
of
were
the
done
Jedi,
with the
the
movie and
Lost
went back to
Empire.
kill Ewoks. I see you.
And as I said at the top of this, I'm not going to watch SG-1 or any of the other ones to get more of the story if people are screaming. That's how you get more. I don't care.
That's how you get it.
That's how you get it. My rewatchability, I bumped up from a 7 to an 8 after Cam dropped an 8 for this, and I was like, yeah, you know what? This is one of those movies that I've never turned off. I will watch it, have watched it hundreds of times, and will, if it's on, I will put it on. If someone's like, hey, let's watch it, absolutely. My overall for this is a 7. It's a fun, enjoyable comfort movie, like I said, and it brings me back to 1994, 1995, in those times where, things were simpler. Pulls on all those nostalgia strings. However, if I know Cam doesn't like those nostalgia strings sometimes, but seemingly in this one, it did bring some of those back in a positive manner.
It was a great period piece.
So that's a 37.5. So I got a 75%.
Look at that.
So we're all kind of close, and then Steven's a little outlier here.
But I will say a lot of points were taken away because of the media absorption that you have outside of it. Just saying. Like, I do
time
have...
sat with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
I believe I could become jaded, but honestly, I've just enjoyed it so dang much. Like, I don't know.
I'm gonna put that 75 is still a very high number. Like, that is still a good.
I do trend higher in my
movie.
scores. Yeah.
Like, I don't see a 75. If you laid out all the movies that I've ever seen, like, that's still way up in the it's still way up at the top. I know some people 75, it's not a 100 or a 90. There aren't many movies that sit up that high on that scale for me.
It's a cool concept, and they pretty much stick the landing. It's not the best landing, but I mean, it's an enjoyable piece from start to finish, and now I have a whole lot more to make fun of it for. So I'm in.
There we go.
Got him.
Cam's happy.
Gonna make him watch Atlantis. Disney's Atlantis.
Look at how much this sucks. Look at them in formation. They don't even know what they're doing. They're gonna shoot each other in the back of the head.
Do they have auto aim? They might have auto aim. It might have been around.
They might have auto aim.
I don't know if it was around yet, Steven.
You're right. You're right. The precursor.
Yet.
It was in a galaxy far away.
Or
they needed a game
Space
for
Egypt. Space Egypt. That's where the tech comes from. Obviously, you see them miss it. They didn't miss.
All right, Steven, you want to hit us with some plugs before we get out of here?
Plug me, baby.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, specifically, if you want to see more trash takes and all those things, you can go over to Cam's channel at Never Touching Grass, where he's doing everything Call of Duty. There's probably a lot of trash in all those Call of Duty lobbies, and Cam is taking it out. So you can check that over at Never Touching Grass. And you can also check out the Walt Disney Company, who's clearly stealing things from better IPs, MGM, Amazon, get it together, get the Stargate out there. But Catherine's getting out there at all things Disney and living her best millennial life over at Spectacle Views. Check her out.
We might be doing some Universal stuff soon, too.
I love it. I love the Universal stuff.
The portals motif to go to the different worlds, the Stargates, maybe. No, it looks so good.
Epic Universe is like, I want to go so bad.
That's some good stuff.
It's not part of the annual pass for Universal, so you have to buy an individual ticket to go, and it's so expensive. But I might fork over the cash to go because it just looks so awesome.
I love that commitment.
Continue.
Well, as Catherine's wallet's getting pried open.
Yeah. Seriously, though.
Take this from you. I don't need this.
God dang it. I had a good segue. You ruined it.
Get wrecked.
Run it back.
Salute
As Catherine's wallet is getting pried open, Nick is prying open every kind of package for all the cool toys that he's making into display things over at Fire Hazard 508 Creations, making playthings into display things. You can check out that channel. And you can check out my channel over at Funky Games, where I'm playing all the quintessential video games. Now that I've taken in one of the best sci-fi quintessential movies, I think I needed to see, we're playing through all those video games over on my channel.
Yeah.
I'd like to pry into that.
Ooh.
Make sure you like and subscribe here, but also we just started posting our episodes on Spotify. So make sure to come check us out under Gen Wars Podcast over on Spotify, as well, soon to be on Apple Podcasts as well. That's a project I'm tackling this weekend.
All right.
Yeah. Dating
Come
the
follow
episode.
us on all of those. Yeah. All right. Well, this travel through the stars has been fun.
It has.
Let's get out of here, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Blow this ship up.
Bye-bye.
Bye.